Ladies and gentlemen, there's a little bit of a serious issue, to say the least. Baton Rouge, Louisiana takes another L. How about that? They take another L, and I'm starting to get a little more familiar with some of the challenges in Louisiana. But nonetheless, this particular story is about a 2-year-old boy. And I want y'all to look at his face. This looks like the most innocent little boy of a place. Let's just talk about this. New Roads Police Department, or excuse me, I said that wrong. The 2-year-old son of a New Roads Police Department officer was shot and killed. I completely read that wrong. Let me get the dad's face up on the screen so y'all can see exactly who I'm talking about. This man. That is a New Roads Police Department officer. And his own son was shot and killed on October the 15th. Approximately 3 days prior to today. 3 days ago. That's how recent this is. So most of you guys might not even have heard of this story yet. His son was shot and killed, but I'm going to tell you guys what happened. Police say that a man is now in custody for the child's murder and was involved in numerous violent incidents around the time of the child's murder, and reportedly even kidnapped a 9-year-old family member during a crime spree. Hashtag live by the thug, die by the thug. Hashtag stupid is as stupid thugs. Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. And we're going to talk about all of this stuff because I think that this applies. Okay? And I'm going to tell y'all why I feel like it applies in this particular story. Now, authorities say that they've arrested this 41-year-old salt and pepper shaker face looking man, Kendrick Myles, for allegedly being involved in a series of different crimes that span from the evening of October the 15th to the early morning hours of October the 16th. Currently, that man, Kendrick Myles, has been charged with first-degree murder, six counts of attempted first-degree murder. Damn! Let me read that again. Charged with first-degree murder. Then he attempted 6 counts of first-degree murder. Then attempted second-degree murder. Then 3 counts of illegal use of a weapon. Then 3 counts of a convicted felon in possession of a firearm. Then home invasion. Then being a fugitive from the Baton Rouge Fire Department linked to an arson investigation. Wow. I just didn't think you could get hit with very many more charges. Sheesh. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the type of man that doesn't need any more jail time. This dude right here don't need jail time. It sounds like this man needs hell time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you guys more and y'all tell me if you agree. Now, the Baton Rouge Police Chief Murphy Pauls stated that the crime spree allegedly committed by Kendrick Myles started at about 8 p.m. on October the 15th. Then police were called out to a shooting that took place at 3637 Osceola Street, where a male victim had reportedly suffered a non-fatal gunshot wound from a family member. So he shot a family member. The victim in the case identified the shooter as Kendrick Myles. Now, while detectives were working on that case of that shooting incident, the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office were also investigating a kidnapping of a 9-year-old child that happened at around 9 p.m. that same evening. Reportedly, that child is related to Kendrick Myles. Not long after the sheriff's office were looking into the kidnapping case, Myles allegedly opened fire at a resident located on 6095 Upland Avenue. That was where, let me get his face up on the screen so y'all can see it. That is where 2-year-old Azariah Thomas was fatally shot. This beautiful baby boy. And his shirt, and I love his shirt. His shirt says, let me back it up. I get my ninja skills from my dad. I get my ninja skills from my dad. Not only is that an awesome shirt that he had on, but I think it's also awesome that he had an awesome representative as a father. His father was doing an awesome service, being a police officer, but his dad was also involved in his life. But I don't know why we should be having to pat people on the back for doing what fathers should do, being in their kids' lives, right? But we know here in I don't know, I guess the last 20, 30 years, 40 years, or whatever the case is, the dynamics of family, like I like to say, family ain't family no more. I guess family is what you make it. I guess family ain't husband and wife underneath the same roof. Family, I guess, can be a lot of different things. I don't know. But I'm going to just say I'm just happy that he was in his son's life and he seems to really, really love his son. And he's a beautiful baby boy. His father, as you can see right there, his name is Vince Hutchison. And he's a police officer with the New Roads Police Department. There are currently no details out on whether his son was a targeted attack or not. The final incident occurred at a home located on 1431 Snipe Street, which culminated in a standoff between Kendrick Myles and the police. According to authorities, the male victim was non-fatally shot inside of the home on Snipe Street, and Kendrick Myles and the 9-year-old child that had been kidnapped hours earlier were inside of the home. Police said that an hours-long standoff concluded just before 3 a.m. on October the 16th, with the kidnapped child having not suffered any harm. Apparently, Chief Paul is familiar with Myles, as he mentioned back in 2004, Kendrick Myles was arrested for allegedly trying to kill 11 people. Mr. Salt and Pepper Shaker Face, I'm going to say that again just in case if y'all didn't hear me correctly. In 2004, Kendrick Myles, y'all see the court affidavit right there, was arrested for allegedly trying to kill 11 people. 11 human beings. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, not eight, not nine, not 10. Oh crap. Guys, I'm out of fingers. I can't count. I'm out of fingers. 11 people? How, Sway? How? How? I don't know if people are going to get mad at me for saying this, but if you ask me, I think that we need to have some type of federal reform for the state, for the entire state of Louisiana. And maybe they might get pissed off at me for saying this. I don't know. Because I really loved what used to be the culture of Louisiana, really for the food, for the music, and stuff like that. Not the bad stuff, because I know you get good with bad. But it seems like their court systems are messed up. It seems that they have a lot of issues with police and things like that. It seems that it used to be considered the so-called murder capital of the world. Black on black crime, or whatever you want to call it. So Louisiana has always had this very crazy stigma. Even the fact that we got people like Corey Miller and we have people like McKinley Phipps who are in jail on supposedly murdering people with no evidence. No physical evidence. Louisiana is one of the only states that allows there to be I can't remember how many people it is. Maybe y'all can tell me in the chat, but you can convict somebody of a life sentence without it being unanimous. And y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. It's one of the only states where you can get convicted in court and the jury not be unanimous. I just don't know how that works. How you can convict somebody on no evidence, but this dude who tried to kill 11 people, and I want y'all to think about this, even just in this thing that he did 3 days ago, was trying to kill about 4 or 5 or 6 people, and he was probably going to do more until the police physically stopped him from doing it. Now, I don't know what his relationship is to the mom or to any of these people. I don't know, but I think there is something that prompted him, and I just don't believe that he just went crazy and just started killing people. I don't know if this had anything to do with drugs, but I'm hoping the fact that because this was a police officer's son, that I don't think there would be no type of drug ties tied to this. I just have faith that a police officer wouldn't be involved in nothing sketchy like that, right? I'm hoping he's a straight up stand up guy. So then again, it makes you wonder what prompted all of this, and there has to be something, and my gut tells me that this was probably prompted over a woman. This man got emotional over a woman, maybe was dating somebody that broke up with him, because that's just been the nature of the majority of the stories that we've been talking about. But like I say, I don't know that. I digress for now, but I'm just telling you, I don't think this was random at all. I do not think this is random. If y'all think it was random, let me know. I don't think it was random. On some of the arrests pertain to drugs and weapons charges, and Kendrick Myles had even pled guilty to attempted second-degree murder back in 2005. Woo! And he apparently just keeps getting out of jail. How does he keep getting out of jail? How do you get out of 11 attempted murder charges? But I thought Black Lives Matter though. Huh? I can guarantee you that the majority of those people he tried to kill or did kill weren't of any other race other than black. What do y'all want to bet? They say it's unclear exactly how much time Kendrick Myles served for that previous conviction. But the way that Chief Paul reflected on the series of crimes allegedly committed by Kendrick Myles recently, he expressed his disdain for habitually running into people that cycle in and out of the criminal justice system. We're tired of seeing the same individuals. This is what I hear from my officers, and we have to do better than that. Major Todd Morris from the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office also commented on the case, noting how domestic situations such as with the Kendrick Myles can result in widespread tragedy. He said domestic situations. If you ask me, that sounds like this had something to do over a relationship. Something prompted this. We talk about domestic violence. Here's another prime example of a domestic violence issue that has turned from a kidnapping to a shooting to the unfortunate death of a 2-year-old. Both the Baton Rouge Police Department and the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office are continuing to investigate this case and understand what led up to this and what all occurred. I'm going to tell you guys this. Whatever woman it was, I don't know if it was this boy's mom or some other woman, that caused this man to do what he did. That's actually an old mugshot of him right there, if I'm not mistaken. But I believe that there was some woman that was in a relationship with this man. Some woman that was desperate enough to be in a relationship with a man who was damn near caught up, or was it being having the finger pointed at him for 11 murders. I don't know how any woman on God's green earth could be that desperate of somebody who could have potentially have been responsible for almost 20 people's death. But we're not going to call that mass murder. We're not going to call that active shooter. We're not going to call it any of that. But I guess that's just a normal day in the black community. But nonetheless, let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Okay. I think I know who this is, but let me make sure. Okay. Here we go.
Man was responsible for a violent rampage through the streets of Baton Rouge that left an innocent little boy dead and several. Man was responsible for a violent rampage through the streets of Baton Rouge that left an innocent little boy dead and several families on edge. But as the 9 News investigators have learned, this is far from that man's first round of violence. This one man, Kendrick Myles, tied to 4 separate crimes overnight. Baton Rouge police saying he unleashed raw terror all across the capital city.
All incidents involving one suspect.
Chief Murphy Paul says the man kidnapped a 9-year-old family member off of Bluebonnet around 8 o'clock last night. Not long after that, he barged into this home on Osceola Street and shot a man in the hand. Police say his one-man rampage was brought to an end after an hours-long standoff with officers, but not before he got into a gunfight with another family member at this home on Snipe Street, then opened fire on this home on West Upland, shooting and killing a 2-year-old identified as Azariah Thomas.
Beautiful soul. And you know, when we're out there and we're trying to find comforting words, it's hard.
The city's top cop appealing to everyone to stop the violence and just be better, saying someone somewhere had the information to stop this before it started.
And the story begins to be the same. It's the same story. Somebody somewhere in that person's inner circle knew something where they could have picked up the phone and called law enforcement to prevent that shooting from happening.
The 9 News investigators have learned this is not Miles's first run-in with the law. Court records show the 41-year-old tried to burn this house down back in June, the house right down the street from the home he's now accused of shooting up on Osceola.
I almost forgot that guys, I forgot to mention that in the story. On top of trying to murder 11 people and all of those other charges, I forgot to tell y'all, he also tried to burn down a house, and he pretty much did burn down this house, because you see that house is still ruined. Man, there's just no reform for some people. He needs to be put down. Seriously, that dude needs to be put down. He has no more purpose on this earth. And you said, please stop cursing. Why? Why should I stop cursing? I like to curse.
Neighbors who did not want to go on camera tell me the home he tried to burn down was where his ex-girlfriend lived. In 2004, he was linked to another round of violence. Back then, he faced all these charges when police say he tried to kill 11 people in 4 different incidents within a month. All of it, police believe, was to get back at his ex-girlfriend. He had spent some time in jail after she filed assault charges against him.
We're dealing with the same people over and over and over again.
While their job is far from over, tonight, Chief Paul says the community is safer with this man off the streets.
And this criminal who took the life of a baby, we have to do better than that.
That man don't deserve to be living at all. And I rarely say anything like that. But that dude does not need to have breath in his body anymore. Like, there are just some people that I just think, you know what? Go ahead and strap them down to the chair and put them out of their misery. To damn near be responsible for 20 people almost being dead? Man, it's just some people, man. Some people just don't need to be here. My closing thoughts about this is I have no idea, and I don't want to put it on the mom or whomever that was dealing with this dude, had this dude living in his house or whatever the case is. But I think as more details come out, we'll learn more with this story and what prompted this man to go into this spiral, this rage, because he was already crazy and destructive and murderous as it was. And you know, I guess you just feel like you're invincible if you're able to avoid 11 murder charges. Huh? I guess a person would feel like, you know, they're untouchable and they can do whatever they want to do if you avoided 11 entire human being murder charges. There's something very wrong with that. That's why I say I think that Louisiana might need to just be reformed all the way around. Just start over, come up with a new system. Because something is clearly wrong here. Like I said, when you have somebody like McKinley Phipps and you have somebody like Corey Miller who are in jail for life in prison for murders that they have no facts on. They have no evidence. No physical evidence against them. And had a jury that was not unanimous that convicted them to life in prison. But you have somebody here, 11 murders, and then the murders he just committed 3 days ago, and he was going to continue to keep killing because they weren't able to stop him. While he was over there doing one criminal act, he went to another place and did a criminal act, and now the police then went over here and investigated that. After he finished that criminal act, then he went over to another place, did another criminal act. Then the police go investigate that before they were able to finally catch up with him. So he was just going from place to place to place to place, just burning down shit, shooting shit, killing people. But yet, he's been out on the streets this entire time. I think that's highly egregious, and there's something very, very wrong with that. Now, again, I'll say this. That little baby boy, that officer's son, could not speak for himself, nor could he defend himself. But he just seems like a very, very innocent kid in this situation. I feel bad for his biological father right there, the police officer. I feel bad that this little boy did not get an opportunity to become something great. He has an awesome smile. He seemed like a beautiful kid, a beautiful soul, just like any kid would be. I don't know why they kept referring to it in the story. Maybe they got their information wrong about him being a little girl, but from what I understand, that's a boy. But like I say, sometimes they get details wrong in some of the stories whenever they're reporting. You know, sometimes they don't even list whether it's a boy or girl. They'll just say there was a 2-year-old child. But nonetheless, we do know that that little boy's name is Azariah Thomas. And I don't even want this dude's face up on my screen no more. So let me get Kendrick Myles off my screen. And let me say, and I love this picture right here. This is my favorite picture of him. I get my ninja skills from my dad. That's an awesome dad shirt. It's a cute, awesome, awesome shirt. And this little baby boy deserved an opportunity to grow up and become something great. Thank you guys for putting the prayer hand emojis up in the chat, because that's where I'm at with it right now. And like I said, the least they could do is at least lock this dude up permanently. Give him the death penalty. Y'all got to do something, because he cannot continue to be out in society however he's doing it. Okay? So let's get justice for Azariah Thomas and so many other people who lost their lives to Kendrick Myles. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We're the AFC, where we believe that children matter. We put children first. From my heart to yours, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening to the stream. Make sure you guys subscribe and click that thumbs up.